Yeah.
Okay.
We're recording. Okay,
we're recording. We're live.
okay. Should we do
What are we gonna do?
the intro? Like,
What are we doing?
we don't have a
didn't talk about the
tagline.
intro.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to Girl Brains.
Welcome to Girl Brains with your hosts
Sydney
and Nikki.
This is our brand new podcast to talk about all the things happening in our girl brains.
Exactly.
We're really excited. This is technically our first episode, but not actually.
We did a lot of troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting,
so
but this is the first one that's like gonna go into the universe. At least that's the plan right now. We're gonna see where
we'll
it
see
goes.
what happens.
But we have a lot of exciting things planned.
A lot of good segments. A lot of good potential guests.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I think we want to start off talking about who are we, why are we doing this, what do you need to know, and then we'll tell you a little bit more about the podcast, and then we have some fun stuff planned for today.
Yep.
So Nikki, who are you?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm Nikki or Nick. I can go by either or. So I'm a February Pisces. I'm the ripe old age of 23. And my current faves are I'm really into Chappell Roan, I think is how you pronounce her name. She opened up for Olivia Rodrigo for it's like some of the US shows.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's like, I'm like low-key kind of obsessed with her now. She makes a lot of good like music. She does like sapphic synth pop.
I just learned, this is embarrassing. I just learned what the word sapphic.
Oh, okay.
But okay.
It's like a cooler word for lesbians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she does like lesbian synth pop, which is really good. I am absolutely in love with her. She had a new single that she released last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to it nonstop. My brother, who drives with me to work in the mornings, is sick of it.
Okay.
It's just not his vibe.
Does she have a whole album out or just
She does
singles?
have a new album. She does have a whole album out. She came out with an album last year, 2023. And I have started listening to it, but I feel like with everybody posting about the Olivia Rodrigo tour, a lot of people have been posting her because she's an opener.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got into her music. And then Spotify recommended, you know how like after like songs end, Spotify's like, you may like.
Yeah.
That's how I listened to one of her songs for the first time.
Because you're not into Olivia.
I'm not a big Olivia Rodrigo
She's
fan.
a Sabrina girl, and I'm an Olivia girl.
Sabrina Carpenter girl.
Yeah.
But but then Sabrina came out with a new song today too, and I'm honestly not too crazy about it.
Okay, that's okay. Maybe it'll take time to like grow.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a little different sounding than what her other songs have been like. I'm a little. I don't want to say disappointed because I love people come out with new music, but I was expecting a little bit better.
Underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed is a very good word to say, yeah.
Okay, what else are you into these days?
I'm currently involved in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Book Talk knows, Bookstagram knows. It's the third book, and honestly, I loved the first two, and I'm not really eating up the third one, which is very controversial because this is like everybody's favorite, supposedly.
How many are total in this?
There's 8.
Oh.
There's 8, and they're hefty too. Like they're not like I can just so like she writes very elementary, so it's like I can fly through them, but it's like I'm flying through like 800 pages.
So okay, I'm not involved in this genre at all. I don't really understand it.
I'm
not a fiction girly, but I just want to clarify. Throne of Glass is different than A Court of
Thorns and Roses.
Yeah, those are two different series.
There are two different. Okay, so there's a whole entire thing. So because I've read ACOTAR. That's what people short to.
I've heard that.
I've read it as well.
And that's where they talk about the watery bowels. Is that ACOTAR?
Oh my, maybe.
Is that a thing?
So. I was flying through it so fast because the only reason I read it was because I think even though like books take a lot of work, I think it's fun when you engage in media that everybody else is is like super popular.
Yeah.
And like everybody and their mama has read ACOTAR.
Mass culture. You can talk, you can like connect with people really
literally
easily.
Mass culture.
Yep.
So I read it and I hated it. I did not like any of it. I don't like the main character. I don't like the main love interest. He's icky. My favorite is Azriel of the Bad Boys. He's cute. He makes me want to keep reading it. But
what kind of creature is he?
He's I think they're technically called Illyrian, but he's got like wings. Okay. He's human and he's fae, but he's got like wings.
What does fae mean?
Like fairy.
Oh, okay.
Like fae. Like that's what they're not called fairies. They're called fae. And
it's
he's
like
got like wings.
It's a slang term for fairy, fae.
I guess.
Okay.
I think maybe it's slang term. I don't know if it's
but you're into Throne of Glass right now.
But I am into Throne of Glass. Okay. I mean, so like this third book, I'm not really eating up right now. But she's also like, it's really annoying because the first half of her books are always like super slow, and I'm like, we need to pick up the pace, pick up the character arcs, and I'm hoping that it'll come through in the second half because I'm like literally like almost 50% way the way done with it. But
Okay.
I'm just not eating it up right now.
That's okay. You just got to get through.
But I really like the first 2 books. I like it a lot better than Akatar already.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you're into?
Yeah, I put oatmeal. I've been putting like oats in my smoothies lately.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this was like not to be like a part of diet culture and fads, but like that stupid Ozempic drink
Yes,
that's
the
going
Ozempic.
viral.
I saw
Yeah,
this
the
on a Good Morning
Ozempic.
America segment.
So it's basically just like, I don't know if like, does anybody here know what Ozempic is?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Explain it,
basically
yeah.
like you put oats into like water and like lime and like cinnamon or like ginger or something, and then you blend it all up and you like drink it first thing in the morning. It is like, I tried it and it was pretty gross. And I also
hold on, question.
Okay,
What is your oat to water ratio? Like, how thick is this?
it's supposed to be half a cup to like a cup of water.
Okay.
So like a half a cup of oats to a cup of water.
Yeah.
So it's like a serving of oats, I guess, technically,
Yeah.
when you look at the back of the bottle. But I don't know. It's pretty gross. And I also would like to preface that I'm not doing this for like a weight. Like, obviously, like the weight loss is nice because like, hello.
Yeah.
But it's also like fiber is really important, and
Sure.
it's such an easy way.
Why not just eat oatmeal?
Because I'm too lazy to make it in the mornings, and I'm not eating oatmeal after 12 p.m.
But yeah, or
I tried the overnight oats, and I did it for such a long time, but like the texture of it in the morning is like not for me.
But I just make oatmeal in the microwave.
Okay, we've been over this. Okay, so for
the microwave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have 2 microwaves at work in our break room. Me and Sydney are coworkers.
Yeah.
And they're disgusting. I don't think anybody has ever cleaned them, and I'm low key a germaphobe with certain things, and those microwaves are one of those things.
But couldn't you do this at home before you get to work?
Yeah, but then that's like 2 minutes that I could spend sleeping or like laying down, and
Yeah.
I can't sacrifice those 2 minutes, guys.
Yep.
I can't, and I'm too scared to use the work microwave.
Okay.
So I've been adding it into my smoothies, which makes them a lot tastier than doing that lame Ozempic drink. And then I also don't have to make oatmeal because like blending a smoothie also takes, because then you have to like let the oatmeal sit and then get soft and edible, and I'm just not about that life. I don't got the time for that.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Cool.
those are my current faves.
Okay.
Those are my current, definitely my current faves.
That's good. I am not into really anything interesting ever. Okay, so I am still watching Reba. I'm almost done. Like, the TV show is on Hulu. I'm in season 6. We're wrapping it up.
Oh, it's like long?
They're like 20 minutes.
Oh.
What do you mean?
I
long?
thought it was like a new thing. I didn't know there was like 6 seasons.
There's
of it.
6 seasons. I think it came out in like early 2000s.
Oh.
And I think it was on Lifetime originally, and then one of our coworkers, Wendy, was watching it, and I was like, you know what? I need a good like going to sleep show.
Like low stakes. Yeah.
Low stakes going to sleep show. And so I got into Reba. It's based in Texas, my home state. We don't need to get into that. And
Check our Instagram.
And I'm liking it. It's nice. It's very comforting. The interesting thing to me about it is, okay, so in the TV show, her daughter is played by, what is her name? Joanna Garcia Swisher.
That name means nothing to me.
Okay, so she's on the Netflix show Sweet Magnolias.
That means a little bit more something to me. Okay.
So I knew her from Sweet Magnolias, and in Sweet Magnolias, she's kind of like, her character's kind of boring to me. She's just kind of like dull. But in Reba, I think she's like funny. So that was cool.
That's good, at least.
Yeah. Okay, she asked about music too, of like what I was interested in. Yeah, there she is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That means something.
And she's married to what's his name? Swisher. He's like a baseball player.
Mike Fisher?
Swisher.
Fisher. Mike Fisher's a hockey player.
Yeah.
I think. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
He's not even in baseball anyways.
I pretty much exclusively listen to podcasts and Taylor Swift, but I have been listening to Cowboy Carter, Beyonce's new album, and it's really good. Also, another Texas connection. Hello.
Sydney loves being Southern.
Stop. And I also said that I'm really into talking about things that we're drinking. Electrolyte powder.
So what, like, have you always been into it, or is this like a new thing?
Okay, this is exactly how I got into electrolyte powder. When I was home at Christmas, I was staying at my brother's house, and one day I felt like I was getting a headache. And I think it's because like where I'm from, like it's really dry. And I was just kind of like, I was like telling my brother, I was like, I feel like I'm getting a headache. I feel like I'm dehydrated. He was like, oh, use this little powder. And I was like, what? And so I went in their pantry and they had this little thing. And I got obsessed with it at their house. And I was like, every day I was going so hard on it. And I asked, I was like, where you get this? Like, where's, like, how much does it cost? And it's just like a little jar. And they got it on Amazon, but it's like $40 for the jar, which seems like a lot to me. I know. And so then I came back here after Christmas and I was still thinking about it. I was like, man, that electrolyte powder was really
incorporated
hitting
into your daily routine at that point.
And then I was like, well, if it makes me drink more water and if I do like price per serving, like all of this stuff. So that's, girl math, girl brains.
Girl brains.
So that's what I'm currently
So like,
faving.
is it flavored? Like what are we
Okay,
working
so
with
thank you
here?
for asking. So the first kind that I got is like lemon lime flavored.
Okay.
Because
standard
and it's kind of tastes salty a little bit because of the electrolytes.
Yeah.
But I actually got a new don't do that. No, it sounds gross, but it's like pretty good. I'll let you try it. I have some.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah. But I got a new one that tastes more like Crystal Light. So
because I'm familiar with the Crystal Light packets.
Yeah,
those are like juice. Okay,
yeah.
Well, that's actually a very controversial. You're not on TikTok?
Not regularly.
Do you know what water talk is?
Well, isn't it like flavored water? Like this is like a thing. I feel
But
like it's because we're all poor. Right? Like why are we like why is flavored water a thing? It's because we have no money. Right?
You know, that does make a lot of sense, but like it's also like a lot of people make fun of them because it's called water talk, but it's like realistically, my guy, this is juice.
Oh, it's a lot of fruit.
Well, it's like it makes it like it's like at what point does the water become juice is my thing.
That's a good question.
Like obviously adding like if you're like if you're because people or one of our studio assistants just brought this up because they do add like syrups to it, like skinny syrup, so it's all like
people add packets of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and then, like,
they're adding
I don't know if this is picking it up, but
it's probably
people
not. So
also add like Kool-Aid powder and stuff like that, or other studio assistants are saying. So it's like at what point is this not water? Is this just like juice essentially?
Yeah.
And like I get drinking more liquids, but like you cannot. Some of them I'm like you cannot market this as water.
Yeah. No, I'm
but it's
not
like
on
I can't do those things.
Yeah.
Like those liquid IVs. I have a terrible story with liquid IVs.
Oh, tell your liquid IV story.
Okay, so
is it about drinking?
Yeah.
Like alcohol?
Yeah. So I'm 23 obviously, so like this is perfectly fine. But I got like pretty messed up. Pretty wasted.
This Iron Bowl wasted?
Yeah. So okay. So it was for a wedding.
Okay.
It was like the bachelorette party. They had a joint party and we went to this club and like they had Grey Goose and Grey Goose goes down like water. Grey Goose, you're not like when I'm sipping on Tito, like I'm like, ooh, like bro's like hanging out in the back of this drink. Like we could put as much orange juice in this, but like Tito's still here. Grey Goose, you don't even know that like he's hanging out in the background while you're like sipping on your vodka cranberry.
Yeah.
I'm also like a super big lightweight.
Yeah.
I think I had maybe like 11 drinks that night.
11?
Yes. Between vodka cranberries and then like shots, like there was like 11. And usually I'm pretty much cutting myself off by 3 because I'm tipsy enough that I'm having so much fun right now.
Yeah.
I just kept. It was a terrible mistake. I'm really glad it happened so that I can never do it again.
Yeah.
But it's like so. And then one of the girls that was there was like, got us all like liquid IV because she doesn't drink. And I was like, cool, fine, whatever. So she got us all like liquid IVs to like mix in the water. So I think.
After you had drank 11.
After we had drank. I didn't know that if it was
supposed to be before. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So we go back to I don't remember most of the drive back to the hotel room. Yeah. I remember some dude like ate shit falling out of the car when we got back to the hotel because we all stayed at the same hotel. And then, like I remember it so vividly. 2 of them actually fell out of the van because we were all partied bust.
Were you wearing heels?
Yeah, but I didn't fall because Mama didn't raise no bitch. So I didn't fall. I didn't throw up that night. And I was It was like the club also had like so many, like you had to climb up a flight of stairs to get into the club.
Yeah.
And because I revisited this club months later when I visited.
Yeah, I remember this.
And I was like, how did I do this drunk? How did I go down these stairs drunk? Going up them, you could like, it's like I miraculously found a way.
Yeah.
But going down them as drunk as I was, I don't even know. But whatever, I did it because like I said, Mama didn't raise no bitch. So anyways, yeah. So we go back to the hotel room and I think drunk me was like, oh my God, like I need to take these liquid IV packets because like alcohol, I'm going to get like dehydrated.
That's the biggest problem is the dehydration.
Yeah. So I think I mixed it before I like KO'd on my bed.
Uh-huh.
And then in the morning.
Did you pee yourself?
No, thank God. No, I would
Okay.
never bring the story up if I did. But in the morning, I was like, I felt like I had the flu. It was so bad. It was so bad. I literally thought I had the flu. Like I was like, I can't do anything today. Like I literally think I need to go home.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ricky, it was bad. And it was so bad. I would like literally one of the worst moments of my life. And then so I was feeling like I had the flu and I was like super hungover.
Mm-hmm.
My brother and my cousin are talking about like what we want to do for breakfast because we're all hungover.
Mm-hmm.
So like people are talking about food. I'm already like queasy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I'm sipping on this liquid IV and they taste gross.
What flavor was it?
I
You
have no
remember?
idea,
Okay.
girl. I have no idea. I just put it into a water bottle that I had laying around when I walked back drunk as hell. And then I sipped it.
Did you throw it up?
Yeah,
that's
I did
when you
throw
throw
it
it
up.
up.
Yep, that's
Okay.
when I threw up.
Gotcha.
It was so, I felt so much better afterwards.
See, that's the thing. Yeah.
And I don't think, because I also like, I don't have a fear of throwing up, but like nobody likes throwing up.
Yeah.
And it's like so gross and I hate it.
Mhm.
But I think had I not had that, so I can't have liquid IVs
Mhm.
because it just brings me back to that.
Yeah.
The food aversion is real. I can't have any more vodka cranberries. That one was really sad.
Yeah.
That's so sad because it was always my drink of choice. Can't do those anymore.
Uh-huh.
And then I can't step back into that club without feeling queasy. Like when I revisited it a couple months later, I was still like, oh, this is gross. I don't want to be here right now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just can't do liquid IVs.
Okay.
And every time I see them, I'm like, ooh.
So not sponsored by Liquid IV.
I mean, maybe if y'all
Yeah,
will pay
yeah.
enough, but
Hit us
not
up.
for now. Because,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God. Like,
Okay.
I can't. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Maybe you
But-
need to drink it before you drink.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
before
so
you
everybo-
drink,
yeah,
you need
but
to.
I didn't know that. Nobody told me. Because, like I said, I'm also not like a huge drinker. Like, I get tipsy.
You didn't think you were going to get that far.
No, I did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I did.
That's
And
how
was
it
so
is.
Bad. It was
Yeah.
so bad. But like I said, I'm glad it happened because now I can never do it ever again and say I didn't miss out on it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was so
it's
bad.
it's better that you learn this stuff like in your early 20s.
Yeah.
Because I think the
'Cause-
recovery time is quicker and just the more you
mean-
know, the better.
Yeah, then I took like a fat
Yeah.
nap afterwards. We
Yeah.
got Chick-fil-A after my nap, and then I was like back to business. Had like a couple cinnamon rolls.
Perfect. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, should we talk about our podcast plans and like what some
Oh
future
yeah, we were
segments and
supposed to
stuff?
be going on to these segments.
No, this is good.
Oh.
People love this.
People.
Nikki had some great ideas of like just general vision for the podcast and future segments that will be upcoming.
Yeah, so basically we kind of want to center this podcast around the idea of like girls and girl brains and not necessarily like super professional things, but things that are like, you know, just a part of girlhood, part of womanhood in general,
Mhm.
things that are fun and like pretty lighthearted.
Yep.
We are thinking about having a couple guests. We're going to call that segment Hey Guesty. We're super excited about that, to bring people on and kind of have them share
Yeah.
their
What's in their little
experiences
girl
with their
brains.
little girl brain. And we're thinking about doing maybe some like throwbacks to pop culture moments. We're gonna come at you guys with pop culture picks occasionally.
We'll do some debates, but
Yep,
like
some debates.
cool stuff.
Yeah, but like not Joe Rogan stuff.
No.
Not Andrew
No,
Tate
we're not.
stuff. We're
Yeah,
gonna
no.
Talk about like
This is girl brains. That's
yeah,
that's like the opposite
a
of
little
girl
too much.
brains.
We're gonna talk about like, is double denim actually bad?
Yeah, I have thoughts
Things
on
like
that.
that.
Okay, this is our first episode technically.
Yes.
And so I am obsessed with Taylor Swift, as most people are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sydney's like obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit crossed casual listener,
mhm.
but I wouldn't also necessarily say that I'm a Swiftie.
Right.
Maybe I am a Swiftie. now
I
I'm
think
thinking
you
about
are.
it.
I think you're low key a Swiftie.
I think I'm low key a Swiftie.
Yeah.
A low key Swiftie.
Yeah. So we thought it would be a good idea because Torture Poets Department comes out next week and we'll be talking all about that and it'll be like live our thoughts because it's coming out on Friday and we record on Fridays.
Mhm.
So we'll do that next week. But for this week, she has 10 albums. We want to do our rankings of the 10 albums.
Mhm.
we're going to share our rankings with each other. We're going to guess each other's top three because I think we've had a lot of conversations about this, like not on the podcast, obviously. And so this is our first podcast. So we want to talk about our rankings. Okay. So how do we want to do this? Because we were going to guess each other's top three.
Yeah.
So
who wants to go first? Do you want to go first?
do I want to guess your top three?
That's up to you.
I can. Okay.
I feel like our top threes are going to be kind of... I feel like I'm going to throw you in for a loop, though, because
I feel like I'm going to throw you for a loop.
I did some real self-reflecting.
I did, too.
And I was like, okay, like, I tell people this is my favorite, but, like, now that I'm thinking about it, is it actually?
See? Okay. So I was trying to tell you this earlier today, but you were like, don't say it.
Yeah, save it for the podcast.
Because I was going to say it. So last night, I, like, sat down with my little notebook, and I was like, I really got to think this through. And my friend Caitlin came over, and I was like, I got to do this. I got to get ready for the podcast. And I was like writing them down, and she was like, what? That doesn't, she was confused, and she said my explanations were not good. She was like, you got to figure out something better to say. So anyway, I have also spent a lot of time thinking about this. So, but I can guess your top three. Okay.
Wait, so do we want to do each other's top three and then like, should we do like your top, I guess your top, or like,
well, how about I guess your top three and then you go through your top 10?
Sweet.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say, but I couldn't remember English. It's hard.
Sure. Okay. So here's what I know about Nikki. Nikki she describes herself as a pop girly.
I am a pop girly.
She's a pop girly. And I know some of the ones that you don't like. So, okay. I know for sure that 1989 is in your top three. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
It is.
I also think that Midnights is going to be in your top three.
That is correct.
Oh my God, I'm so good. So that's 2 out of 3. And then the third one is this where I'm going to be like swerve a little. I think Red. Is that right?
There's no fucking way.
Did I get them all?
Well, yeah, okay, so like, do you think it's in that order?
1989, Midnights, Red. Yeah. Is that it?
3. That is my top
wow. 3. Okay.
That is my top
Thank you.
3.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, City.
Do you want to talk through? How do you want to talk through yours?
Okay. So obviously she had a pretty decent following before 1989, but 1989 was her full like transition to pop. And I think that's when I was like, the song that I fell in love with, I don't even know how I listened to it, if it was on the radio or something, but it was New Romantics. And that wasn't like a radio hit when she released it. And I was like, oh, like this is actually really good. Like maybe I'll give like a little bit more attention to this. And I fell in love with All You Had to Do Was Stay. I'm an All You Had to Do Was Stay stan. That is my favorite off the album. I love it so much.
That's an interesting take because I don't think that's a lot of people's favorite from that album.
It's not, and I don't care because they have bad taste. Everybody says it's a skip.
It's an interesting top 5, right? Or track 5.
It's just I feel like, and like the best part is that like honestly, at least like consciously on the front of my mind, like it's not like relatable in what the message is trying to say.
Yeah.
Like I've never had a moment where I've like begged somebody to stay. Or, like all they had to do was stay, and like I would like whatever. Yeah, I never had like a moment like that, but it's just like, I don't know, it's like the composition, the lyrics, the way it sounds.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely my favorite off the album.
Yeah.
I listen to it all the time.
I love that.
So I think that's why 1989 is my favorite, is because it's got that nostalgic factor of this was like the first album where I was like, oh my gosh, like I kind of actually like, I would say I like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like I would like seek this out. Like I wouldn't just like listen to it on the radio and
passively
keep it.
listen. Yeah.
So 1989 is my favorite. All You Had to Do Was Stay.
Yeah.
It's my favorite off the album.
Okay. And then tell us about the rest of your list.
Midnights is my second. Very controversial because I feel like a lot of people on TikTok really don't like Midnights. Or it's like I think a lot of people think it's good, but like a top 3 is like not where it falls. I don't know, because I listened to her for 1989, and then I was there a little bit during like Reputation and Lover, but like I didn't really like seek those albums out.
Yeah.
And then, like, to be honest, I wasn't there. COVID, I was not a Folklore Evermore girly.
Yeah.
And then Midnights was, like, this, like, I think the push that I had towards getting me to where I am today as being a casual Swiftie again.
I will also say I am a part of that, getting you to
Yeah, no, for sure. I think because it's easy. I think it's so easy when you adopt other people's interests, or, like, when you pay attention to other people's interests.
Yeah.
To become friends with them. And I knew that we were coworkers, and I thought you were really cool. So I was like, City loves Taylor Swift. I'll listen to a lot of her things, and now like I'm also like a casual Swiftie.
It makes me feel so influential.
You are pretty influential.
Thank you.
But yeah, Midnights was one of the albums that I was like, oh, like this is really good. But I don't know if I have I think actually, you know what? I think my favorite is The Great War. I think that was my favorite.
That's
off
a
that
good.
album.
That's a good one.
That is a no skip for me.
Okay.
Oh my god, that one, Bigger Than the Whole Sky. Sydney does. She doesn't hate it, but it's
a
something
skip for
different
me.
for her.
But you know, it did hit recently for me.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say. I don't know. I don't think I could rank.
Okay.
I know The Great War is probably my favorite off of it. That's the one that I probably listen to the most.
Yeah.
And then my third one is Red. So this is why I thought I was gonna like kind of like come in a little bit because I always talk about how I like Lover as well.
Yeah.
And I think when we first talked about it, I told you that my favorite album was Lover.
Yeah. I made you a friendship bracelet with Lover on it.
Well,
okay, so this is before we were like, we were coworkers, but like we were casual, like we didn't really chat very much.
Yeah.
And it was last year, like we were all in our friendship bracelet making parties.
It was coming up.
I was going to the Eras tour. And I was like, oh, I want to make a bracelet for Nikki. Like that will be a nice thing to do. And people who made friendship bracelets know, like, you would run out of certain letters.
Yeah.
And so I think the R, I didn't have any more R's.
You didn't have R's, and then
What was the other one? I know for sure the R.
the L and the O were fine.
Yeah.
And the
V.
E was fine. Maybe it was the V.
But I don't know how I would have made a V. But I didn't have any R beads. And so I had a P and I drew on it with a Sharpie, but it came off.
Yeah, it's come off by now.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I knew you as like a Lover girly, but it's not in your top 3.
But like after doing some self-reflection, I don't know. Red is just like coming back to it after the re-recording.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has the best vault songs.
Oh my god, yeah, 100%.
Like not even just the fact that there's like the quantity of vault songs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all just composed and lyrically a lot better than her other re-recordings.
Agree. The vault from Red is number 1. I don't know
how rare I was there.
I don't know how it will ever be surpassed.
Yeah.
Like, not just All Too Well 10, of course, everybody loves it, amazing, triumphant.
See, but that's not even my favorite.
I know.
Song.
What's your favorite? Oh,
The Very First Night. I listen to it all the time.
Yeah. I love Nothing New. That makes me really sad. I can really get in my feels in that one. My low key fave is probably Forever Winter. I think that's I love a sad song.
Like I almost do.
Yeah.
All those. Yeah. I think, and then just like not even like the vault songs, just even like opening with State of Grace.
Yeah. Holy Ground.
And I never. Gosh, she was so good. She knew what she was doing. And Red, I love Red.
Yeah.
I really wish she included Red on the Eras Tour set list.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like the name of the album.
Yeah.
But what do I know? But anyways. So yeah, I think Red is definitely my top 3, and it's just like an album that I also always come to when it's like autumn. Hello.
Yeah. It sets the scene really well. Yeah,
for sure.
Okay.
So those are my top 3.
Keep it going.
So we get a little bit more murky towards like this part. So I would say Lover is 4.
Okay.
Because I still do really much love.
Yeah.
Lover. I think we talked about this in our not released episode because we were still troubleshooting. Like the songs that hit off of it hit, and I listen to them all the time.
Yeah.
But like I feel like I would never like listen to the entire album.
Mm-hmm.
Like Cornelia Street was super good. Death by a Thousand Cuts was super good.
Mm-hmm.
Afterglow super good. The Archer, a little too good.
I can always tell when like Nikki's like in a mood if she's been listening to The Archer.
To The Archer, yeah.
Oh,
it's so good.
It is really good.
The bridge. Anyways,
yeah.
So 4, Lover. 5, I think, is going to be Rep. I'm also not good at math, so
I was also like super impressed that you're not looking at your notes for this. You just have it.
Yeah, I have it. I had it locked down because I've been thinking about this for a week. Because I really need to do some self-reflecting.
So
I
5
think
is Rep. Okay.
I'm really excited to see the vault songs for that one. Especially, we'll probably get into this a little bit later with who it's about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say I like Rep. However, it's also like there's not as many songs that I like on Rep as there are on Lover. So like Delicate is probably my favorite off of Rep.
Yeah.
And then I listen to like Don't Blame Me, obviously. But like a lot of the like I don't like Endgame's really good. But I don't like Ready for It. I don't like Look What You Made Me Do. Like, and then a lot of them I also just like never really listen to.
Yep.
Like I don't skip them because I don't like them, but I skip them because I don't know them and I don't want to know them.
Yeah. I don't know her.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
and
6.
Then, I think I'm giving 6 to Evermore.
Oh.
Which I think.
Okay.
That's what I was like. I'm like a little nervous to say this.
Why? Because
I think there's just.
What are you nervous? Are you nervous of my reaction?
A little bit, because I know
Oh.
you're a really big folklore girly.
But you're talking about
Allegedly.
Evermore.
Yeah,
But like
I know,
the
but like
sisters.
that folklore is like low.
Yeah.
Still.
That's okay. I
going.
know that about you.
But I don't know. I think I'm a Cowboy Like Me stan.
I know.
You hate Cowboy Like Me. I do not. I love Cowboy Like Me.
I think my problem with Cowboy Like Me is like I don't get it. I don't know what it's talking about, and I've
You're
never
a
figured it
cowboy
out.
like me, perched in the dark. Tell him all the rich folk everything they want. Anyways, yeah, it's good. I like. And then Right Where You Left Me.
Right Where You Left Me is so good. God,
then,
I can feel the
Nobody, No
mascara
Crime.
run.
I love Nobody, No Crime. You're Not Tolerated, Champagne Problems, Willow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that one I just listened to more than coming in at number, 7, which is Folklore.
Okay.
Because we've talked about this before, not in a casual conversation. It's just like Evermore and Folklore are really good, but they're also sounds that I don't normally listen to, which is why I'm ranking them as low as they are.
Yeah.
Like it's just not like that type of like, I don't know if it's like a genre that's like folk-esque. It's just something I don't listen to a lot.
Yeah.
And really the only ones that I listen to off of Folklore are Mirrorball and This Is Me Trying.
Yeah.
Those are the only two that I'm like, oh yeah, let's put them on. Like
Yeah.
the rest of it, I think my thing is that because it's so sad girl-esque, if we had Folklore angry girl version, I think I would feel a lot differently about it. Like the way that she does My Tears Ricochet and Illicit Affairs at the Eras Tour set list, if that was what it sounded like in the studio version, I think Folklore would be a lot higher.
Could you imagine This Is Me Trying in an angry version too? Instead of like I'm sad and this is as good as I got, but like me like being like I'm trying.
Yeah,
that would be good.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's just too sad girl, and then all the like other versions of it are sadder girl.
Yeah. The sad
So
autumn
like,
girl or whatever, or
I really
Long
wish we
Pond.
had like angry Folklore.
I would be into angry Folklore. Yeah.
And then Fearless. I don't listen to a lot of Fearless. Speak Now, second to last. I don't listen to a lot of Speak Now. It's not my thing. I think out of Speak Now, the only song that I've ever like actually listened to is Better Than Revenge.
Okay. Do you like the mattress version?
Yeah, I'm not gonna admit if I listen to stolen or re-recorded versions.
I think we're talking about the line like she's better known for the things that she does on the mattress,
which
and
converted to he was a moth
to the flame. I was holding the matches. And I think mattress is better.
Yeah.
And I get it, like, why she changed it. And, like, it's, like, anti-feminism and all of that stuff. But I'm, like, I think it's also...
It's so much more relatable.
It's so much more relatable. And I think it's just,
honest.
like, at that point in your life, that's what you were feeling. And, like, that's fine. So,
see, I feel like that's also why... I don't know. I feel like with the whole... There's a lot allegedly about, like, when her and Joe started a little bit of a falling out.
Joe Jonas.
No.
Or Joe Alwyn. Okay.
And I feel like the Red re-recording still held a lot of emotion in it.
Yeah.
But I feel like Fearless and Speak Now just didn't hit as much as a lot of people think, because I don't just like think she had the same kind of...
She didn't have the passion because she was like in her personal life, she was like being
I mean, like you can't
dry.
really like, obviously like I'm still angsty, but like if angsty me met 18-year-old angsty Nikki, like it's not even the same level. Like y'all cannot even compare. I think there's just some feelings that you have when you're a teenager that you can't really recreate when you're
It'll be interesting to see. Well, and like talking about angsty, like we're still waiting for Reputation and Debut.
Yeah.
And those will both be tough to recreate, I think, in my opinion.
For sure.
We'll see.
And then Debut's last. I'm not a country girl. I never listened to it when like it first came out. So it's just like I never listened to it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's last.
Not
no shame to the Debut lovers out there.
Okay.
That's my top 10.
Okay. That tracks. I don't know if I could have picked your whole top 10, but like I knew like Fearless, Speak Now, Debut. That's like
those were all gonna be towards the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, you want to guess my top 3?
I'm nervous. Okay.
I think I'm gonna surprise you because
I think you are too. Because like
I have mine in my notebook.
So you've described yourself as a rep girly before, so I'm wondering if that's in your top 3.
Reputation?
Yeah.
Is that your... It's not.
It's not?
It's not.
Really?
I know. I surprised myself.
You gotta be... I know Folklore is up there.
Folklore is
number 1.
Folklore, is number 1.
Number 1. And then I feel like Evermore is just so adjacent to Folklore, but you're also... No, actually, I'm thinking about it. Is Red a top 3 for you too?
Red is top 3.
Is it second or third?
It's third.
Third, okay. Second? I feel like Evermore is adjacent in sound, but I feel like you're not in love with all of Evermore like you are compared to Folklore. Oh God, what is it? Is it Midnight's?
No.
No.
My number 2.
This is I love that Red's both of our number 3s.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, why am I like tripping up right now? It's not Speak Now.
It's not Speak Now. No, God.
It's not, is it Debut? That one just has a lot of nostalgic factor
It's not
for
Debut.
you. Wow, I'm struggling right now.
You
Look
are
at
really
your
sorry.
number
This
2.
is the one that Caitlin was like, what?
Is it Fearless?
No. You guessed basically everything except for the right one for my number 2.
Is it 1989?
It's 1989.
Real? I mean, like, obviously where she belongs.
Yeah.
Hello. But really?
Yeah. Okay, so this is how I thought about my rankings and my whole process, right? So you came in 1989. That was your entry point.
Yeah.
My entry point was Debut.
That's why I was like, is it Debut?
So I like to think like I grew up with Taylor Swift. So this is funny. My brother is actually the one that introduced me to Taylor Swift, right? So I think he was in college and I was still in high school, and he was like, hey, he was more into country music, and he was like, hey, like, you should listen to this. It's this girl. She's like 15 or yeah. Was I in high school? I don't remember. And then I remember he went to school in Austin, and I have like this very vivid memory of like driving in his car in the highway or like interstate in Austin, and him playing Teardrops on My Guitar in his car. And like, it like just hit for me. It just changed me. Like, it really like got to me, and I felt so seen. And I remember we like play it again, like, and like making him repeat it. And so since then I was like, I'm in. And so when I was thinking about all these rankings, it's like they all correspond with very specific moments in time for me. And some of them, I think the ranking is influenced by that, because like some, it's like points in time that I am nostalgic for in a good way, and others it's like points in time where I'm like, ooh, that didn't feel good. So like, I don't really want to think about that. So it's colored by that. But my number 1 is Folklore.
Yeah, figured. You listen to it. She listens to it all the time.
All the time. Because I think also...
Do you know the amount of times I've walked into Sydney's house and it's been on like her TV, the Long Pond sessions on Disney Plus or like on YouTube or something?
Yeah.
Like, all the time.
Yeah. And that another one, I was at my brother's house and it was like deep in COVID. I was, pretty depressed, and I just remember everybody was. And I remember like being in the guest bedroom and waking up and opening my phone, because that's what everybody does, and seeing it and being so confused of like, oh, like what is happening? We're getting an album. And I was just like, do I have hope? like is everything going to be okay? And also just like walking around his neighborhood, listening to it for the first time. And I don't know, it wasn't a good time in my life. It wasn't a good time in anybody's life, but like the music felt like an escape in a really good way, like for most people. And I just think, I don't know, it's just good vibes. So Folklore is my number 1 for sure. And then 1989, I think 1989 is like, it's mass appeal, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of feels like this sounds like it's not good, but it feels kind of like a palate cleanser for me. So like all the other stuff, or a lot of the other stuff, like I can get really in my feels about.
Yeah.
But 1989, it's like good background music when I want something like that's not sad, but I actually like the songs and I connect with the song. I can
still shake my ass to this while crying.
Yes. All you had to do was stay.
Yeah, all you had to do was how long?
Yeah. So, and I just think as an album, like I will listen to the album fully. Like I don't skip around generally. Like, I mean, I'll probably skip.
What is your skip off of 1989? I'm dying to know. Be honest. You can say all you had to do was stay. I'm used to it.
No, I like all you had to do was stay. Now probably like Shake It Off. Because like I like Shake It Off, but it's like if you talk to anybody, like, okay, I talk to guys on dating apps and they'll be like, oh, Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, and I'm like, that's really like lame. So I'm like, that's not interesting. So it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So 1989 is my number 2. Number 3, I put Red. It's so good. It's like a good album. And I feel like all 3 of these are like good albums, like the whole way through. And this also is like, it's place setter. Like it's very fall. I can listen to the whole thing.
sure.
It's just, yeah, I love it.
All like 36 hours of it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. And then, okay, my number 4, I put Reputation as number 4
Okay.
because I do love Reputation, but I don't think I visit it as often as these others. And it's like, I also feel like Reputation is there's like a duality in Reputation. It's like, I'm like big and bombastic and ready for it. And and then also like, I'm falling in love. And so you have to be in one of those 2 moods.
Yeah.
And
That's understandable.
Yeah. And then, okay, I really struggled. Number 5, I put Evermore.
Okay.
Because that's another one that's like kind of 50-50 for me. I have a lot of skips on Evermore.
Yeah. That's why I was like, no, even though it's the same sound,
Yeah,
like, you
it's-
don't like
yeah.
a lot of it.
Like Dorothea, I skip. I don't like the songs that I don't understand what it's talking about. I
Okay.
skip.
Don't say Cowboy Like Me.
I skip Cowboy Like Me.
Oh.
Happiness, I skip. I don't need that. But like the songs that are really good on there, like I was very into Willow when it first came out. Champagne Problems, obviously amazing. I really like Long Story Short and Closure. Right Where You Left Me, It's Time to Go.
Yep.
I love Coney Island.
Coney Island's
Coney
a very good
Island's
one.
really good. It's also interesting to look back at Folklore or Evermore now in light of what we know about her relationship with Joe
Yeah.
and speculate about all that. So that's a whole other thing. Okay. Number 6, I put Taylor Swift Debut. Because I think
What
like
did I tell you about the Midnight's disrespect?
I know, but-
literally said it earlier.
okay, but and I actually have another thing I want to talk about too after we get through this. So I wanted to rank Taylor Swift Debut higher because it was so impactful for me.
Understandable.
And it got me started. And a lot of those songs, like, I think they're still good. I think when we do re-records and you get to revisit it or visit it for the first time, like, it's just like good songwriting, and they're sweet songs and they're funny. And
Do we think she's gonna bring the fake country accent back?
yeah,
She's got to.
she has to. Yeah.
She has to.
Yeah. I put Midnight's at number 7.
You make me sick. You make me so sick. Not you, Ricky.
I
Putting Midnight's at 7.
I like a lot of songs on
It's
Midnight's.
such a
I like a lot of songs on Midnight's, but I don't know, it's not there for me. And like, obviously my list changes all the time
Yeah.
too. So that's fine. 8, I put Lover. I like Lover, but I don't visit it often.
after the I Think He Knows Supremacy.
I do
that
think
you-
I Think He Knows is super good
That
and
was your
very
top song in
it's-
2019.
it was
you
my top
said.
song in 2019, and it's very slept on. People don't talk about it, but it is a bop. And I also think the Live from Paris version of So Good of Cornelia
So
Street
good.
and Death by a Thousand Cuts, like that really took me through some stuff. Number 9 is Fearless. I think it is a good album. That came out when I was in college. I remember driving around listening to that.
Mhm.
But again, when the re-record of Fearless came out in early 2001 or 2021, I remember going on a walk. I was also like not doing well then too, and listening to it and just like crying as I was walking.
Oh
and
my,
feeling
like
so-
outdoors?
yeah. Again, I was not in a good spot.
I'm a shower crier.
Yeah, I used to be a shower crier.
I just like, if I start crying in
Yeah.
public, I need to seek shelter immediately.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I cried in my friend's car the other day, and she had
Like while she was there.
yeah, yeah. I just went in her car, but no, she had tissues in her car. It really worked out. She was like, "Do you want to come
Crying
in my
the
car?"
is pretty legendary.
And now I have tissues in my car because I was
I have
like,
tissues in my car.
"See,
But I also have like allergies. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
also, like,
Yeah,
hence the sniffling if it's getting picked up on the mic probably. Really?
yeah,
We're talking about crying in the
I'm
car right
sorry.
now.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
studio
yeah,
assistants.
No, when I went to drive to Florida.
She said when
yeah."
she drove to Florida,
And
she cried in the car.
I
It's so
lived-
relatable.
Well, because the year before my friend, her mom passed away
Uh-huh.
while I was there. I didn't know I was going to be triggered. And as I got closer to Disney, my
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
took action, and
Body keeps the score.
Yeah.
I had to pull over.
Yeah,
It was that bad.
yeah. Yeah.
Crying in the car is pretty legendary.
Crying-
I cried in the car this past weekend. Hello.
Did you? I'm trying to think.
Birth control.
Birth control. We had a whole conversation before we started about when the phone rings and anyway.
Different
Okay.
podcast.
Different
otherwise.
podcast. We've cut all this out. And my number 10 is Speak Now.
Yeah.
Speak Now came out. I was living in China at the time. And I do remember like reading the liner notes and really like loving it at the time. And there's still like, I still think Enchanted is so good. And like
Enchanted is really good.
Enchanted is a good one. Like, yeah. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Enchanted is so good too.
But it's not
It's not
top
anything
for me.
crazy for me either.
Yeah.
I can't believe Midnight's that so I love her.
Okay.
You make me so sad.
Okay. No. Okay. So Taylor Swift released last week her playlist based on the stages of grief.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But I heard something
Oh god.
on the internet. So some
Everything on the internet.
everything on the internet is true. And so I wanted to talk about it with you because so this person on the internet, sorry, I can't give you credit. I don't remember. I found it on Instagram. She was talking about the stages of grief and she was like, actually, I think so Reputation is where her and Joe, like that's when they were like really in love.
Yeah.
Okay. That's when they met. That's when we first were introduced to him. And then she was like, but actually, I think the subsequent albums are the stages of grief. So listen to this. Okay. So after Reputation
So
came
Lovers-
Lover, and Lover is the denial stage.
Okay.
So, and she has a lot of Lover songs on that playlist of like Cornelia Street,
Yeah.
Lover. She put Lover on the denial playlist. So
Mhm.
where she's like being Delulu, right?
Okay.
Okay. Then she goes to Anger, and that's Folklore.
Okay.
My Tears Ricochet, other angry songs.
Other, yeah.
And then Evermore is Bargaining,
Okay.
Tolerate It, etc. And then, okay, this is, I was talking to Caitlin last night. Midnight's is Depression,
Okay.
because that's the first time she talks about depression. She uses the word depression for the first time in songs in Midnight's. And Caitlin and I were talking about this last night, and we were like, Midnight's doesn't really hit because it feels like muted, like a little bit, the album as a whole.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't relate.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, everybody takes things differently.
Yeah.
So
And then Tortured Poets is going to be Acceptance.
interesting.
So just a thought.
I think it's definitely I watched somebody on TikTok. I also cannot give you credit. I'm really sorry. They did like a whole video essay on her and his like relationship through like her songwriting. And
Was
all
it the
her
Swiftologist guy?
Yeah.
I watched
I
his whole
sent it to-
YouTube video
It was
last night.
really-
It was
it was
really
a
good.
really good
Yeah,
deep
shout out
dive.
to Swiftologist.
And I usually like don't really like engage that long with
Mhm.
media like that, but I was like he like really hooked me in. I was like, oh
Yeah.
like we're like we
He
spoke
has a
about.
podcast too. I think it's called Anatomy of a Snake.
Oh.
So I don't know. I haven't listened, but I probably will because I liked his YouTube video.
Yeah, he did a really good deep dive.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Thank you for sharing your rankings.
thank you for sharing your rankings.
Yep. We also want to talk about our Tortured Poets Department predictions.
It's mostly just Sydney's
It's me talking
predictions.
about my predictions because I've been thinking about this and I made a list on my phone and I need to share it before it comes out. So if I'm right, Nostradamus, all of that.
Oh god.
So I made a list of words that I think are going to show up on the album.
Yeah.
You're not into this.
This is I not that I'm not into this.
Yeah.
I obviously love engaging with you when it comes to these things.
Thank
but
you.
I have not done what she's about to make the list of.
Okay. Here's my list of predictions of words or phrases or ideas that are going to show up on Tortured Poets. So here we go. Because we're into poetry, I think the first one I wrote down was internal rhyme because it's a poetry device. But I also
Mhm.
think she could use it to talk about like her internal world and the internal rhyme. I just think
Uh-huh.
something there could happen.
Okay.
Okay. Couplet is another poetry device, and I think she could talk about broken couplets. It's a breakup album. It's poetry.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Elegy is something that is used at funerals. This is the death of a relationship. She's used the word elegy before. I think
Yeah,
she could
folklore.
revisit it. Nightingales. I don't know. I was looking at poems and I can't remember what poem that's from, but yeah, I think nightingales could show up. I wrote down the word adulation and like I don't know what that word means.
Is that a real word?
It is a real word. I don't know what it means, but I think she teaches us new vocab she does.
This
So
is just so funny to me.
so I think adulation could show up. I think there could be something about horses.
Oh my god, her and this horse idea.
What?
There's no. What about horses? Is really cracking me up right now. Like it's like everything. It's like okay, like poems, dark academia vibe. Yes, sure.
But
And
she
then
surprises
horses.
us. I don't know.
What about
stallions,
horses?
wild horses, taming.
What song do you think the horses would show up on?
Down bad.
Really?
I don't
Or
know.
maybe fresh out the slammer,
Yeah, like a horse being
like a saloon.
free. Oh, saloon. Okay.
Saloon. Ooh.
See?
Put that on
See?
the list.
I think
Ricky sees the vision.
absinthe.
Yeah.
Because she references alcohol, liquor a lot, but she hasn't talked about specifically absinthe yet, and I think that could really fit. I think she's going to use the word frank, meaning true. It's another. Bluebird.
That was my.
That
idea.
was Nikki's. She wrote Bluebird because Joe is
Joe's always
blue
and like
birds.
bluebirds. I don't
Yeah.
know, birds, owls, something like that.
Yeah. Our coworker Amy added the suggestion of swamp. I think based on Florida! Exclamation!
Yeah,
Exclamation!
swamp.
Exclamation! Okay, I added more since I talked to you
Oh,
last. I think the idea or the word quilt could show up.
Okay.
Because I think it could be a nice metaphor for something. A
Okay.
quilt. Yep.
Okay. I can
Um,
see the vision.
Sure. Olives.
Girl, what is
Either
like an
in
olive branch?
an olive branch,
maybe?
an olive tree, an olive in a drink, and a martini. I think
Mhm.
olives could show up.
Okay.
Olive green. She used key lime green. Okay, then I was like thinking about religious words because we have guilty as sin.
Mhm.
And so here's some religious words that I think could show up. Absolution,
Okay.
pardon,
Okay.
devout,
Okay.
atonement.
Okay.
Okay. And then my last two, this is a Emily Dickinson title or line. I don't know. I was on the internet and just wrote a bunch of stuff down. Hope is a thing with feathers.
Okay.
That just feels
I
right.
can see the vision.
See? And then I also think she could use the term celestial bodies
Okay.
because it's kind of sexy. Bodies. Blech.
Ricky's seeing the vision right
Yeah.
now.
So those are my predictions.
That is so
Do you do you have any? You can have specific or just general predictions.
I really hope Fortnite sounds like the AI cover that's going around on TikTok right now because it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. But
Mhm.
everybody's worried it's going to be another Suburban Legends AI scandal, which I think is really funny because I think the Suburban Legends AI sounds better than the actual Suburban Legends.
I
that we
haven't
got.
heard the
You
Suburban.
haven't?
No,
Okay,
we
we'll
should
have
listen when we get
like,
back to the
look that
office.
When we get back to the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've showed you the Fortnite AI, alleged AI
Yeah.
cover. I
Yeah.
think it sounds really good. I think it's such a cute little
Mm-hmm.
like vibe, like
Yeah.
super chill, super laid back, but it's also like
And it's the
fun.
first song on the album too. So it'll,
Yeah,
like,
and
set
I
the
imagine
vibe.
it's going to be a single
You think so? Because with Post.
with Post Malone.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that features Post Malone typically has a.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Any
But
other
that's
predictions?
all I have really. Oh, I think. Ooh, this is gonna be a little controversial opinion. I think Tortured Poets is gonna fall to 7 for me.
7.
I don't think I'm gonna.
You're
like
not.
it.
You're
So
not.
we talked about this, how it's like a lot, like nobody really knows what it's gonna sound like, and you brought it up that somebody on the interwebs and everything on the internet's true
Mhm.
said that it was gonna be like kind of like sax, like jazzy.
Yes, I
And
did see something about being
I don't-
jazzy.
And you said like False God and
Yeah.
Afterglow, and I really like Afterglow, but if it's more of a False God vibe, I don't think I'm gonna like it because I don't. False God is good lyrically and it's good musically, but I don't like them together.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a skip on the album for me.
Yeah.
So if it all sounds like that or like esque,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, or like people have said it's gonna be Folklore
Folklore
and
Evermore,
Evermore
and
is
that's not
like
for you.
older brother.
Yeah.
I also
Don't want
don't
it.
really listen to Folklore Evermore, so I think it might be. I don't think it's gonna break my top 5.
Okay. Okay.
We'll see, but I don't.
We will see. We're a week out. I'm very excited.
A lot of the local businesses are doing like release parties for it and stuff, and a lot of people are doing like certain drinks or like
Mm-hmm.
pastries
Oh,
Willing to
who's
go?
doing pastries?
I think Auburn Oils do. Wait, it's either
They have
drink or like snacks. Somebody's doing a snack somewhere about it.
Good.
We don't go because Sydney can't be out the house past 9 p.m.
There's
because
all these listening parties on Thursday night that start at 10 o'clock, and I'm like,
They start at 10 o'clock because the album drops at 11.
I know, but it's not for me. And I also don't want to listen with other people for the
I
first
understand
time.
that.
I don't want
But
that.
like, if it's like jazzy and sexy, and we're like at like a cocktail bar, that's low key a vibe with like a
But
bunch
we
of
don't-
other people who are
I think-
sad
I think
and want to listen to it.
here's what's going to happen. All of those people would get on my nerves.
That's a good point. I can see it.
Like, I think I would just be annoyed with them, and I would tell
Yeah.
them to shut up so I can like think. And
Yeah.
that's not the vibe. I can do that after I've like had time to process it on my own. But no, not for the first time. I know
I
myself
don't
too
know.
well.
I'm trying to find somebody to go with me, but the problem is that like everybody else is like, ooh, 11 o'clock.
See?
And I'm like, you people make me sick. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna drag my boyfriend to come.
Yeah.
I love
Why
him.
would they not have it the
but-
next day so you can like listen to it and then come together?
Well, so I couldn't go to them if they were the next day anyways, because we're heading up for a wedding.
I am
Me
having
and said boyfriend who's gonna listen to the entire thing in the car ride up there.
Speaking of crying in the car.
Yeah, speaking of crying in the car.
Yeah. All right.
Where
Well,
do you think it's gonna fall in your top 10?
ooh, so the problem is like I think they all need time to settle.
Uh-huh.
And so because usually when a new album comes out, like at first there's some like trepidation of like this is unfamiliar, right? Like
Uh-huh.
it doesn't feel like comfortable yet.
Yeah.
And so there's some of that, but then some of them like immediately hit and you're like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever heard." So I think I'm going to need time to let it process, but I could see it being in my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Cuz I think I like sad songs more than you.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be like Red adjacent as far as like breakup album. And I love like Folklore Evermore.
Yeah.
So I think it has a lot of potential for
Okay.
me.
Okay. I
For
can
me.
see it. I can see
Yeah.
it. I can see it.
Okay. Well,
That was our first episode.
that was
I
our first
think.
episode. Thank you guys for
Thank
listening.
you guys for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Girl Brains.
Girl Brains Podcast
Podcast.
on Instagram. We're going to try to do episodes weekly.
Yep. And
On
then hopefully shoot for that.
Yeah, on Tuesdays is our plan right now. We'll keep you
Yep.
guys updated,
Yep.
but follow our Instagram for more updates, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys next week.